What's going on, y'all? My name is Enoch. I'm here to inspire, motivate, and encourage you to be the best version of you that you could possibly be. I know that ain't an easy task, but let's go. Welcome back to Divine Motivation Podcast. I really appreciate you tuning in. Like, subscribe, share the video if you want to send it to somebody you think they might like it. Follow the Instagram, Divine Motivation _. We on iTunes. We on Spotify. We on Anchor app. So lock in with me. Now let's get into it. Okay. So I like to critically think about different phrases, right? So we often hear a lot people say like, yeah, I'm just so afraid to fail, and like failure is not an option and things like that. So I start thinking about it like failure, right? And a lot of times that keeps people from doing things. So I start thinking like, are people really afraid to fail, or they're afraid to fail in front of other people? So I start thinking about it. So I'm like, me personally, I think it's more so the latter. People are afraid to fail in front of other people. Because, like, think about something so simple. Like, as a kid, let's go back to playground days. If you was playing basketball by yourself and you're in the park by yourself and you know that clock, you do 3, 2, 1, shot. You missed. Do it again. 3, 2, 1, shot. I missed. And it don't really affect you like that, right? Same thing when you get older. You in the gym, if you're on a basketball team or whatever sport you play, you can shoot the ball so much times in practice in the gym if you're by yourself. And if you fail on the shot, you miss, you're like, it's not that big of a deal. But if there were people there, that's when it's like, ooh, I don't know about this. That's when that pressure start kicking in. That's when it's like, man, there's people here. And then I start thinking like, when nobody's looking, nobody's really afraid of failing. It's when you start putting it out there and people start knowing what you're doing. And then in their eyes, they don't see a certain level of success. That's when it's like, oh, I don't want to do it because I don't want to fail. It's not that you're afraid of failing. You're afraid of what people will say about it. You're afraid of what comes with the criticism of you trying to do something and you failing. And we got to get out of that. Like, we got to shoot as much shots as possible, because that hinders us from actually reaching what we're supposed to get to. So when they say failure is not an option, to me, it's like failure is an option. Failure is necessary, because that's how you grow. That's how you get better. If you're trying to be consistent, you have to fail at it to understand what consistency looks like. You have to fail at things if you want to grow. That's the only way. So that phrase, people afraid to fail, I think I want to debunk that. I think people are afraid to fail in front of others. And I really want you to get out that mindset of failure like it's the worst thing in the world. If you didn't fail, that means you didn't try. And if you didn't try, that means you're not moving towards anything. So it's okay. I genuinely embrace failure, because to me, it's not actually failure. It's learning. That sounds cliche. It's like, yo, you live, you learn. Like, you need, when you take an L, it's really a lesson. But it's real though. But it only works is if you actually incorporate what you learned through the loss, through the failure. Like for me, I'm starting to publicly say like, yo, I'm working towards public speaking, motivational speaking. Now, I could easily just keep that to myself and say like, yo, I'm just grinding on this on the low. Like, I mean, like, I don't need nobody to know about it. And if it blows up, cool. But if it doesn't, nobody knew I was trying to do it anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Nah. If you really want it and you really trying to go for it, prove it. Show that you really want to do it. Show that the purpose is bigger than what people say about you. It's bigger than what others may look at as success for you. Because how you going to let other people dictate your success? Success for me might be completely different than anybody else. Success, I'm probably going to do a whole episode about success because we think success is money, fame. But for me, success is totally different. It may not be the same as you. It may not be what you consider success is. So why are your level of success is dictated on what others think about you or what others say is so-called popping? So you have to look at yourself and say, you know what? I'm not afraid of failing because it doesn't matter who sees me fail because I'm going to keep going. I'm going to really go after it. Failure is an option. Like, I played sports. It was always failure is not an option. Yeah, cool. But when you do fail, what's the other options? So after I failed, do I just, all right, it's over? I failed. Now what? What do I do with that? And I think that's where people get stuck. It's like, I failed. Man, it's the end of the world. No. Because you failed, now you're going to be able, I say be able because you have to choose if you're going to keep going. Now that you failed, you have the ability to learn to keep going. A lot of times, we see failure as, man, if I fail, that means it's over. That means I can't do this. That means I just have to figure out something else. No, failure is, to me, failure is a sign that you're going in the right direction. It's just some things you need to tweak. There's some things you need to figure out. Failure doesn't mean you're done. Failure tests you. Failure shows you like, oh, are you really about this? Or are you just talking? Because now it's not going your way. Now you're losing a little bit. That failure has your mind like, it really starts playing tricks on you like, oh man, I failed. So does that mean this ain't for me? And that's when you start separating those lines of people that's really going for something and people that's like, I'm just testing this out. I'm ready to fail. Real talk. I mean that. I'm ready to get on stage and mess up some words. I'm ready to go out there and have a blank moment. I'm ready for that. And being prepared for that prepares me for those failures. So now I know how to deal with it. Now I know how to come at those moments. You got to prepare for it. You got to prepare for failure. So failure is an option. But it's how you look at it. How do you see those things? And that's on you to figure out. Like I said, success is different to other people. You can say the same thing about failure. Failure is a different mindset to different people. Some people embrace it. Some people are afraid of it that they never even try. So don't be that person that could take so much shots in practice, but when the game come, it's like, I'm going to fall back. I ain't going to mess with it. Nah. Be able to miss those shots. Because then you can learn from it. You can learn like, oh, my form was off. Oh, I didn't breathe through that. Oh, I didn't set up the right way. So that you can keep going. Failure is an option. Think about that. Work on that this week. Don't be afraid to fail. Embrace it. That's the episode for today. Appreciate you tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. Follow the Instagram, Divine Motivation _ iTunes, Spotify, Anchor app. We on all that. I ain't afraid to fail. Let's do it, y'all. See you next week.